Tom Fresa here for the Naval History and Heritage Command, and today we are again going to be cooking with history, with a recipe out of the 1945 edition of the Cookbook of the United States Navy. And the recipe we're going to be focusing on today is actually two recipes for roast chicken and stuffing. Now, roast chicken was probably one of the easier meals to make aboard ship, especially during World War II, because they had larger industrial-sized ovens. But chickens date back all the way to the age of sail, where they would bring aboard the ship live chickens that they could slaughter and then butcher up and then serve to the crew. Well, luckily, because of the age of refrigeration, in World War II they really didn't have to deal with that. Same thing today as well. So the recipe that we're actually going to be working with, again, comes out of the 1945 edition of the Cookbook of the United States Navy, and it's two recipes that we're going to be working with. One for the roast chicken, the other one for the bread stuffing that we're going to be putting inside of it. So the portions during World War II in this cookbook are for 100 portions. Now, we're not going to be cooking 100 portions, but we've scaled down the recipe. So I'm going to go through the ingredients, tell you what they originally were, and then what the scaled down version is, so you can try this at home. So, the first ingredient for the chicken is, well, the chicken. Originally 125 pounds worth. We're going to be using a 5.5 pound bird. Next up is salt. Originally 10 tablespoons. We're going to be using 1/3 a tablespoon. Pepper is next, originally 2 teaspoons. We'll be using 1/8 of a teaspoon. And then fat, 1 pint originally. We're going to be using 3 tablespoons. With the bread dressing, you would have, first up on the list, is bread, day old, cubed. Originally 10 gallons, we'll be using 8 cups. Next up is thyme, which is originally 1 tablespoon. We'll be using 1/4 teaspoon. Next is sage, originally 1/2 cup. We'll be using 1 teaspoon. Salt, originally 1/4 of a cup. We'll be using a 1/2 teaspoon. Next is pepper, originally 1 3/8 tablespoons. We'll be using 1/4 of a teaspoon. Onions is next, chopped. Originally 3 cups. We'll be using 2 1/4 tablespoons. Next is celery, chopped. Originally 1 1/4 gallons. We'll be using 2 tablespoons. And then finally, butter, melted. Originally 1.5 pints. We'll be using 4 tablespoons. All right. So the way this is going to work is you want to make the bread stuffing first. It's a health and safety thing. You want your bread stuffing done first, then you'll take your bird, kind of rinse it out, inside it out, pat it down with paper towel, inside and out, and then immediately put the stuffing in and then get it into the oven. The less time you have in between you putting the stuffing in and getting it into the oven, it means that there's less time for bacteria to kind of start forming inside of the bird. We don't want to make people sick. So again, make your bread stuffing first, clean out the chicken, then put it all in, get it in the oven. All right, so the instructions for the bread dressing. Combine bread cubes, thyme, sage, salt, and pepper. Fry onions and celery in fat until clear. Add to bread. Mix lightly but thoroughly. Then we'll have it in a bowl and we'll put it inside the bird. So here are the instructions for the roast chicken. Prepare chicken for cooking. Rub cavity of chicken thoroughly with salt and pepper. Stuff with dressing. Truss, meaning tie up the legs. Grease outside of bird with melted fat. Place in roasting pan. Add enough water to cover the bottom of the pan. Roast in slow oven, 325 degrees Fahrenheit, for 2.5 to 3 hours or until the meat is tender. Turn occasionally to brown evenly. All right, so we're going to get into this recipe and we'll get back to you and tell you how it turns out. And here is the finished product on our 1943 U.S. Navy mess tray. And the only thing that we need to really top this off is some gravy on the stuffing. Fantastic. All right, well, I'm going to go sit down and enjoy this. It smells amazing. I highly recommend you try it out. And if you would like more information, please visit the website of the Naval History and Heritage Command, history.navy.mil, and we will see you at our next cooking video.